Okay, what I have here is a front engine dragster. I've had one time before with a big block Chevy in it. And one time, when I say we, I have a guy that works with me, his name's Joe Brzezowski. Joe and I were sitting talking, and I said, Joe, I'd like to have another front engine dragster. So we started scheming and plotting, and this is what we wound up with. We started out with nothing and built this car from scratch. I took an engine out of one of my sprint cars. This is a 360 cubic inch engine. And from what I was told, it does around 650 horse. I've never raced a car. We got the car running, and then I just kind of put it over in the corner. I found out when I got in it that it was very difficult for me to get out of it because I'm getting older. So it kind of makes you wonder, well, should I really do this or not? But it's an injected alcohol running car. And one of the reasons that I was leery about driving it, you don't see alcohol burning. It burns with no flame. So if you catch on fire and you're sitting in this thing, you don't see the fire and you burn up before you know it. So it's don't happen, but it could happen. So I've never done it. Eventually I will get my rear end in it and drive it. What I did with a motor, it's a 350 Chevy, 360 cubic inch after boring, but having a Chevy engine and a dragster is no big deal. So I took a set of Moroso valve covers and ground Moroso off of it and had my friend that does the lettering put Avante on it, because at that time I had an Avante and I was going to pull this car with the Avante. Also had him put here the Avante Studebaker powered, and it fools people. I've had people walk up and say, oh, that's an Avante motor. It's not, it's a Chevrolet motor. On the hood, I had the Golden Hawk, which is a Studebaker emblem, and put Golden Hawk on it. And I just like the way the emblem looks. So we did that. This thing is the fuel injection. It's very difficult for me. Carburetor, I understand it, I understand this, but we can never get it running just right. So the car, we put a 9-inch Ford rear end that's narrowed in the car. Then, because your legs go over and down here, well, all the family jewels are sitting right here. Well, this is a scatter shield that we built, and we built it piece by piece. We put individual, started out, and I would take a piece of cardboard, beat it, and get the pattern, then cut the steel out, put it in, and weld it in. So I built a scatter shield that way. The transmission is a power glide, and the way it works, you pull it all the way back, and it's in low gear. This, you push like that, and what happens, the steering wheel fits here, and when you're driving it, and you go from low, which it's in now, and you go to high, you press the button, and this goes down one time. The battery's dead in it now. And what Joe did, he put a starter solenoid where that it would shift the transmission. When you want to go into neutral, you push the safety device up, push it down, and that's neutral. You want to go into reverse, hit it one more time. I went 2 times then, but it'll go into reverse. Then it goes into park. So you got park, reverse, neutral, drive, and low. And when you pull it all the way out, it's in low gear. Very simple. It's got a starter on it. This hooks to the battery. This plugs in, and we can start the car from inside the car. And that's right here. This adjusts the fuel mixture. You can get richer and leaner. This is the parachute and the oil pressure gauge. Starter, ignition, that turns it on, off. So very simple system, but you can see how small it is in here. And when I get in, I fill it up. So very neat car. I really like it. The hood comes off and put it down over here. You can see this is the steering box. This came off of a midget sprint car. We built the steering arm shaft. Comes out the side, down the side, all the way to the front, and that's what turns it. This is the battery for shifting, for the shifter, and brake pedal, gas pedal, and all these valves that I really don't, like I said, understand, because this is a richer and leaner from up here, and it just turns it and makes the injection work better. It's got a magneto on it, no points, no internals. It has points, but it's not conventional points. We took the line in, we built it, and here's where a lot of my tools are at. I've been working on it. I cleaned the gas tank out. We had a aluminum gas tank built, and I forgot how many gallons were in it, so I finally figured it out and put it on it where I'd remember it. This is the water tank, and it's pumped in through here. The water pump is right here, and this is the pump for the injection. The gas, alcohol runs through here. The overflow, everything on it, it's not complicated, it just looks complicated. So we, one day I will race it, but we built the whole thing, Joe and I, and it really a neat car. Looks neat and all that. All right, Emil wanted to sit down in this car and understand why it's difficult to get out of.
Oh my.
Yeah, now you also got a helmet on and you got a fire suit on.
You cannot fit in there, Fred.
Yeah, I build it, and Joe and I build it where the roll cage, sit up straight, Emil.
Yeah.
You see how much room Emil's got above his head, and he's trying to look bigger than he is.
And I'm a good 2 inches shorter than you, Fred.
Yeah. And so there's that much, my head touches the roll bars. This is the inside of the car. You can see how your knees go over the rear end. I'm not good at this, but I'll get up closer. And again, that's the scatter shield. You see where the family jewels are at.
Yeah.
And I've never seen one come apart or heard of one, but I'm sure they have. But I just wanted them things protected. Yeah. So there's how it is. The gas pedal, you can see where you're at. You're very uncomfortable riding in the car. And over here is the brake pedal. Put your foot on the brake pedal, Neil. There you go. There's Neil on the brake pedal. So probably hasn't got brakes, does it?
No,
Okay.
Yeah, no pedal right there.
It's been sitting a while, but there's not much room in there.
Yeah.
And there's the parachute hand. Put your hand on where the black dice, the black die.
This.
Okay. If
Okay.
Emil were driving this car, he would have his hands on that from start to finish.
Okay.
Because that's what stops you. The brakes will slow you down.
Mm-hmm.
The parachute really slows you down. So there's the roll.
Pull the chute.
Yeah, pull the chute.
Yes, sir.
And
You can't fit your elbows in here, Fred.
I know. Well, now think about it. You put a fire suit on and
Yeah.
you're in there. How crowded you are in there too.
Wow.
So
What do these do?
the one on the right is the shifter.
Okay.
And what is the one on the left for?
Trans brake.
Trans
Trans brake.
Okay.
When you're
Okay.
staging,
Yeah, so you hit that guy and you just let it go then?
you
Yes.
just let it go
Okay.
when the light drops.
Got it.
And hit the gas, yeah. And the other one, when you get up to certain RPM, that's all you do is just touch it, and that shifts the transmission, and you're done. Time pull shoot then.
Yeah.
And that's the other half of this operation right there, huh?
Right. This is Joe, and Joe and I have been working together for 10, 12 years, I guess, and without Joe, I would probably not have half of this stuff that I've got, and I appreciate it, Joe. Joe lost his leg to a racing accident on his wheelchair, which ain't true. But anyway, it sounds better than the real story. So we'll
Bottom
leave
line
it.
is, I won the race.
He won the race, yeah. And Joe is no longer entered any ass-kicking contest.
No,
So one-legged man can't win an ass-kicking contest.
that's easily.
So we have a good time here, Joe and I. And we've been, what, Joe, how many years? 10?
It's been 14, Fred.
14 years. Holy cow.
14 years we've been doing this.
Yep, and him and I have done close to 30 cars in 14 years. Emil, I appreciate it. You look damn good in
See if I
there.
can get out of this thing.
Yeah, let's see.
Oh wait,
a minute,
steering wheel.
Wait a minute, let me back up here.
You wanna get this on film?
Yeah, and see how difficult it is.
Yeah. Well, I guess I gotta be pretty spry.
Yeah, there you go.
Wow.
And you think you got a fire suit on,
Oh,
and
yeah.
all that helmet, and you got
Wow.
to get unbuckled.
That's fun.
Yes, it is.